Good morning. It's Monty Python's flight. No, it's Wednesday. Wednesday morning, 10:30ish. Um, no internet. This I'll upload 4G, and if I have 4G, it'll be very slow, but it doesn't really matter. There's no rush. Um, I because of Mark's health scare, we are we've gone low carb. We spoke to Jane. I spoke to Jane, our friend who was here the other day, is a retired doctor. I spoke to her the other night, and she said that it's more likely that he needs to get on top of his diabetes, and he's not been taking his metformin consistently. Like, so I think that the doctor, the metformin was prescribed a year ago, and the doctor's probably quite worried, thinking, well, what's going on? Because the metformin I think, is prescribed to protect your vital organs. And if you're not taking the metformin, then you're not protecting your vital organs. So I think that partly we can resolve this by Mark taking his metformin, and the other thing we're doing is low carb. So I I'd already started buying, things that were good for him, and deciding what we wouldn't have that wasn't good for him. I'd already started to do that, but low carb seems to be the thing, and I know that. We all know that low carb is better for us, um, and um, so that's what we're doing, low carb, and it's only been 2 or 3 days, but I this morning, yesterday, whenever I was moving up and moving, it was hard work still. And we went to the BO shop yesterday, and I was just wandering around in there probably for 15-20 minutes, and I was exhausted. And we came home, which is a 20-minute drive, and I got out of the car and was struggling to move very well, which is just utterly stupid. This morning, I'm up, and about an hour ago, I went down to let the chickens out, and I walked down there normally. I walked back normally. I'd been in and out around in the house, chatting to Mark. Went to get his Filofax because I was making a doctor's appointment. Up out of my chair without thought, without having to think, and that's so unusual recently. Now, I also increased my steroids 10 days ago, I think now, so that could be it. But I'm sort of erring on the low carbs, because low carbs are good to, carbs are not good for inflammation. So I'm hopeful it's that, because I can really feel the difference. So yeah, yesterday he had a load of stir fry vegetables with some chicken, and I finally got to eat my entrecote steak that had been sitting in the fridge, waiting for me to eat it. So I had that with the vegetables, and he had chicken in his. We're having stir fry chicken again today because I cooked 2 chickens on Saturday. I poached one and roasted one, so I do need to use them, and then what I've got left I need to do something with. So I will. Yeah, we're having chicken stir fry again. He's having his chicken in the stir fry. I'm having a leg of chicken out of the stir fry veg, because I like to eat my meat in my hand, like like you would a leg of mammoth. That's how I like my meat. He likes his cut up. So that's what's going on. I think I understood the message. I keep sending messages to Free saying, where's my internet? Why am I paying? What's going on? Explain. And then I have to try and work out what they're saying, because I haven't got easy access to translate what they're saying. So I think they're saying that, if the problem's with Orange, because Orange own the line, or the phone line, It could be slow because orange are slow. I know that orange are slow. But if the problem's with us, we'll try to sort it out, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, oh. So last night I sat and watched. You've done this before, I've told you about this. That's better. Last night I sat and watched on my phone, because I did have a signal. I watched Sandy Brock. I watched her vlog that I'd missed. I mean, I watched her Tuesday vlog. I've probably missed Sundays. And it's very painful because every time you get an ad, the ads must be heavier, um, than heavier in terms of download the actual vlog. So you get that twirly thing going round and round and round, waiting for it to, and I have to just sit patiently and wait. But I don't know how people can just use the phone. I don't know how people can sit and watch stuff on a phone. I find it really difficult. It's just too small. I like my big screen. I really miss having a big screen. So I watched her, and then I remembered that I'd obviously on Sunday I had assumed that Leave Everything and Wander would publish a video, and they did, of well, quite a long video of Luca's journey, to Bern, and the myelographies and the operation. So it was good to see that, and see that he's home and doing well and has got to take, precautions whilst he recuperates. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that's resolved the issue. I really hope so, because that would be awful if it hadn't, because he's gone through a lot. So I watched that on my phone. Um, Reading a book. I'm going to sit and read out here for now. It's going to be hot. All the shutters are closed. Um, I don't know how hot it's going to be, but I know it's going to be hot. I haven't really looked at the weather. All the things I would normally do, is I get on my Mac and I look here and I go there and do this. And I'm not doing any of that on the phone. I'm trying to keep up with my Scrabble moves, my Scrabble games. I've got several Scrabble games on the go, so I might do that in a minute just to make sure I've played at least one move with everybody. Trying to keep up with that, and I do that. I do that on. I've got a tablet and I play Scrabble on my tablet, because that's bigger. That I find it a bit hard on the phone. That's a bit small. So yeah, and of course the tablet won't connect to the internet, and hasn't got. When I bought it, I didn't have a lot of money, and so I bought it without a Wi-Fi connection. No, without a telephone connection, mobile connection. So I can only use my tablet if we have Wi-Fi. I thought to myself, I sorted out last week in art. It exhausted me after an hour just looking. I found a model, for me to start tomorrow. I thought, I know, I can print it from my phone. I'll print it from my phone. Um, but I think the printer has to be connected to Wi-Fi, so that's not working. So I'm going to have to I'll send it to Etienne, and he will print it for me. I think that's what I'll do. I'll send it to Etienne over the phone lines, over the clackers. That's the Discworld thing, clackers. That's the form of communication. I'll send a clacker, a clack. I think it's a clack. I'll send a clack to Etienne, and he'll print it off for me for tomorrow afternoon. Um, I have been able to look at blue sky for a while, which I found helpful because I had missed it. I'd missed the sort of the stuff that's going on politically, especially the aftermath of the military parade. I know what I was going to say about that. And then it's, days ago now, I was looking at blue sky, probably before we lost the connection. Um, there were comments under some of the things I was watching about the parade, And apparently the comments were suggesting that the soldiers that were there and the military that were there had been advised, and I don't know who had advised them, but they were advised to be not to be in dress uniform. And I've got a feeling that what was going on, and they apparently they were many of them were out of step, and I think what was going on was um, they were saying, "You want a parade, we'll give you a parade," but giving him the middle finger at the same time. But I haven't been able to follow that up because you know I just can't do all the things I want to do on the phone. The other thing I noticed this morning was that a woman was killed by one of those tanks, was run over by one of those tanks and killed. The one of the Abrams tanks. Um, a couple of days later in Washington, it was being moved by a contractor, ready to take back to Texas, and there's not much about it. She's not been named, but was found unconscious and unresponsive by paramedics. I don't, I can't imagine how you could how you couldn't hear a tank approaching you. It's like I'm not suggesting it didn't happen, but it's like surely you would know there's something very loud and noisy and big coming your way. I don't know how that happens. That's very sad. And um, I saw something else this morning, but I can't give you any details about it because I can't remember the name of the interviewer and who he was interviewing. But they were talking about Iran. It was one of Trump's sidekicks. I should know their names, and I don't. Um, Asking him about Iran, and this guy, this sidekick, didn't really know much about Iran, and he said, "But why are you um, going to war with Iran or waging war with Iran if you don't know that we're not? We're supporting Israel to do that. So you are at war? No, we're not. But you've just said that you're supporting Israel. No, well, I didn't say that." And he just tied him in knots. So it sounds like America, you're at war with Israel, with Iran. What and that people think that this is how Trump is dealing with his disappointment with what happened at the parade is that there's even more narcissistic rage there that he needs to spit out at someone else, and now he's doing that. He's completely destabilizing the world, has been doing that, destabilizing America, and destabilizing the Middle East, and destabilizing the world. It's terrifying. But I don't look terrified because I'm sitting here in my garden. I'm surrounded by birds and trees and the sun and whatever. But it's like it's I'm a bit conflicted. It's like that there's all that going on, and I should be terrified, but probably it would take something more than that for me to be terrified, something closer, and I'm not asking for that. But it's like if you can't see it out your window or out the front of your house or in your back garden, then you can, I suppose you can pretend it's not happening. If you can't hear it, you can pretend it's not happening. But the most dangerous man, and I can't believe they voted him in a second time. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, I'm gonna finish my coffee. I'm gonna read my Kindle, and I'm gonna play my moves, which are on the phone, my Scrabble moves. Sit here for a bit, and then go and do the lunch. And then I don't think we're doing anything else. So that's it, really. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. God knows when you'll get this. So remember that I began to upload this on Wednesday morning at about 10:30. So don't know when you'll get it. Okay, bye.